In 1985, Gary, Indiana stood in decay. The steel mills that had once built the city's fortune now sat as rusting giants. The layoffs of the early 80s had hollowed out the workforce, and by 86, unemployment lingered like a shadow over the streets. Families that had relied on the mill for generations faced foreclosure and hunger. Entire neighborhoods lived under the weight of poverty and crime. Violence was no longer the exception. It was part of the landscape.
They're not safe.
Our kids are dying in the streets.
Dying in the streets, houses, fields of Gary, Indiana, on the way to reclaiming its title as the murder capital of the United States.
I think we're dealing with numbers when we should be dealing with people. People are losing their lives, and we've got into a number count.
But the numbers are so staggering.
That's what it took, so now we on the map. So we like whatever.
You're on the map for murdering them.
So whatever.
In 1993, Gary had more murders per capita, 109 among its 119,000 residents, than any other U.S. city. After a decline last year, Gary is now on a pace to smash its all-time record.
What is it going to take to stop the babies from dying?
Johnny White's baby, Janice, turned up missing, then beaten to death this summer.
I'm tired of hearing people saying, I'm sorry for you. You know why? Because I am sorry that someone else is going to have to go through what I went through.
Children grew up fast here, their lives shaped by hardship, desperation, and choices no one should have to make. It was in this atmosphere that on May 14, 1985, a group of teenage girls showed up at 77-year-old Ruth Pelkey's home in Gary, Indiana, with plans of robbing the elderly Bible school teacher. 3 of the girls entered the home under the pretense of wanting Bible lessons, while the 4th waited outside as a lookout. One of the girls grabbed a vase and hit Pelkey over the head. As she fell to the floor, another girl, 15-year-old Paula Cooper, took a butcher knife from her purse and proceeded to stab the woman to death. In total, she stabbed Pelka 33 times. Her killer stole $10 and her car. Paula Cooper quickly confessed. In 1986, she was tried as an adult. Despite her age, a judge sentenced her to death by electrocution. At 16, Paula became the youngest female on death row in America. Her accomplices, Denise Thomas, aged 14, Karen Corder, aged 16, and April Beverly, aged 15, received sentences from 25 to 60 years. The death sentence for a teenager triggered outrage across the globe. Amnesty International launched a campaign against her execution. Even Pope John Paul II appealed for mercy. Perhaps the most surprising voice for mercy came from Ruth Pelk's own grandson, Bill Pelk. Rather than demanding vengeance, Bill forgave Paula. He even traveled the world, campaigning against the death penalty.
But I just remember thinking, you're smiling now, but when this day's over with, you won't be smiling anymore. Somebody in the right mind doesn't take a 12-inch butcher knife and stab somebody 33 times. What had happened that day was a crazy, crazy, senseless act, and that my faith was actually calling me to forgive.
Pelkey says that's what his grandmother would have done too, so he reached out to Cooper. The two forged a friendship, exchanging hundreds of letters over the years.
I cry every time I think about your grandma. The others think it's a joke because you all let them be free. I'm not an evil person or whatever you think of me to be.
He visited her in prison 14 times.
I don't mind writing you whenever you want to write. No matter what you feel, I will love all of your family.
In 1989, after widespread appeals, Paula Cooper's death sentence was overturned. She was resentenced to 60 years in prison. Behind bars, Paula sought redemption. She educated herself, earning a college degree. She became known for tutoring other inmates. After serving 27 years, Paula Cooper was released in June 2013. She was 43 years old.
I don't care if I have to sweep floors, wash dishes, or flip hamburgers. I'm going to take whatever I can get.
She worked her way up at a burger chain.
I was 15 years old, and I couldn't tell you what my mindset was at 15 as opposed to what my mindset is at 42. I really can't. I mean, for maybe 10, 15 years into my sentence, I really didn't even understand what happened. Honestly, I mean, I sat and tried to figure it all out, and for years I couldn't figure it out. There was no one in there that was innocent. I mean, this is almost 30 years later, so, I mean, I don't have to try to sugarcoat anything or try to make myself look good in any type of way. There was 4 of us in there, and all 4 of us were guilty. I take great pride in what I do because people have to trust you to eat your food. That's the most personal thing that they can do, is taking something out your hand and believing that you've done nothing to it. I want to tell them that you don't want prison. You start off with these little crimes and you're out there selling drugs and you don't want to get a job and you want to get a felony on your record and run around and think you're cool and cute, and you don't know what prison is. You know, prison strips you of everything.
But freedom was difficult. Less than 2 years later, in May 2015, Paula Cooper died by suicide.
She was just always so bubbly and excited about life.
LaShawn Davidson asked her to marry him, but he noticed a pain behind her smile.
I just don't think she understood how to get past what she done.
Others noticed as well.
A lot of people forgave her, but I think at the end of the day, she never forgave herself for what she did.
On Memorial Day, 2 years out of prison and 45 years old, Cooper left goodbye notes to her friends and family. She wrote to her fiancé, "I took a life and never felt worthy." The next morning, she shot herself.
Well, I got on my computer and I saw an email that my daughter had just sent, and she said, "Dad, I'm so sorry." I clicked on the link, and it was a breaking news out of Indianapolis that Paula Cooper was dead of an apparent suicide.
Society handed Paula Cooper a death sentence and then a reprieve. She worked hard to redeem herself, but in the end, her guilt and shame were a death sentence too. John Moan, Associated Press.
Paula Cooper's case changed America. It helped shift public opinion on executing juveniles. In 2005, the U.S. Supreme Court banned the death penalty for offenders under 18. The story of Paula Cooper is not one of heroes or villains, but of humanity at its darkest and its most compassionate. A young girl who committed a terrible crime, a family that chose forgiveness, and a justice system forced to confront its limits. Paula Cooper's life was brief, troubled, and tragic, but her legacy endures in the ongoing fight for mercy, compassion, and justice.